978-454-4980 in the plush, brand new palatial studios here at WCAP, where everybody gets it. We are broadcasting live. I'm actually relaxing on my couch right now as I speak to you because the studio here is just so wonderful. And in the studio, we have, with multiple microphones around him, all of which that work, Al DiNuccio, candidate for state representative. He is running against Linda Campbell. I don't think he's got a shot, and I don't think he thinks he's got a shot. And I only say that because I judge, I've been doing this a long time now, and I judge based on their ad buys whether or not they believe they have a chance. The ones that think they have no chance save all their money and dump all their money on ad buys in the last week. Those who think they do have a shot, those who think they're going to win, want to make sure that they do, and they front load their spending. Well, for example, Linda Campbell, I'm not going to say her, but we'll just say as an example, a Linda Campbell type candidate who thinks she's going to win will call me in June and say, I want to write you a check now for all of my thank you ads after the election. Like, I have some money in the bank now and I want to make sure that the month after the election our thank you ads are paid for. Because they're thinking ahead and they're already thinking in their mind they're winning. Whereas you get an Al DiNuccio kind of candidate, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I had to pay my electric bill yesterday, and I don't know if I can swing a June ad. I don't know. So I'm not saying this to degrade anybody or to promote anybody. What I'm saying is I can always tell by the behavior of the candidate and their spending whether they think they've got a shot. I don't think you think you've got a shot. What do you think about that, Al DiNuccio?
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have one. I'm saying
no, I know. No,
I'm saying
absolutely.
you don't think you have one.
My advice to Tom Duggan is don't cash the thank you checks from Linda Campbell.
All right, fair enough.
You know, Thursday night I was at Haverhill Public Library speaking. I was one of 9 Republican speakers.
I had spies in that room.
Did you really?
Yeah,
it was a great
I know
night.
Dave D'Angelo was also there.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there. It was a good night.
Bill Ryan was also there with his minions.
Yeah, I'm shocked on a Thursday night in July they got that many people to come out, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Which tells you a lot right there.
Yeah.
None of the candidates, there was 9 speakers. I was the 9th of 9 speakers. And nobody had talked to each other. I didn't even know any of these people because Haverhill's new to my district. I ran for state rep before, 4 years ago, and Haverhill was not part of it. So I don't know anybody in there, and nobody really knew each other. And we all had the same message. And everybody had the same interaction with people that it's different this year.
Yeah.
And I know you hear that every time, every cycle. Oh, this is the year, this is the year. No, it's different out there.
No, I agree. I think this year it is a little different.
It's a lot different.
But what scares me is what you thought was a good thing. Was that everyone's working together as a team. Which means they're all going to have the same. They're all going to have the same message.
No.
They're all going to have the same talking points.
Well.
And when you approach any of these Republican candidates and try and get them to think outside their talking points, it's going to be very difficult to get a real answer because they're all thinking, how is this going to look for the team?
Well, you know, that's
really,
true and that's not true.
Okay.
I'm gonna share something with you. So I'm the 9th of 9 speakers,
right?
And everybody gets up and they do pretty much have, like you said, you hit it on the head. They got the same talking points and everybody's, and it's easy because the Democrats are handing us stuff on a platter right now. So naturally everybody's talking Obamacare, this or that or whatever. So I get up and, I actually have my speech here in front of me. I'm just going to read you one part, one line.
We have a no-read policy on this
I know,
show,
it's just one line of it because I'm trying to get to a point here.
Okay.
So part of my, let's see, let me find it. Okay, this is really short. It says, I'm pro-life, I'm for traditional marriage, and I will fight for gun owners' rights. Now, that's part of something that I'm promising in my campaign. And at the end of this thing, now I had to stop for applause 3 times. No lie, I'm not kidding, I'm not bragging or anything. And I thought that was just an okay speech. It ended up being very good, I guess. But I stopped for applause, I got a little standing ovation, and I got accolades from everybody in the room. Right. But at the end, this little old couple come up to me. Nicest, cutest little, like you would see, like they're an ad for Hallmark cards or something. Right. And they come up and he goes, sir, I just want to shake the hand of the man that's brave enough to say I'm pro-life. Because no one will say it.
Yeah, but it's not that brave to say it in a Republican crowd,
I'm just saying that I'm different than some of the people out there. Yeah, there are talking points, and every parties do have talking points. They're party races. You're going to have talking points.
Listen, I agree with you. It's brave to be pro-life in Massachusetts. Yeah. But I don't know that it's all that brave to say that you're pro-life in a Republican crowd. Now, go to a now crowd,
Yeah.
Go to a.
Not saying that. I'm saying it on the radio.
Yeah, I know.
Who's your audience? You
On
have a
the
mixed
Valley
audience.
Patriot,
You
yeah.
have a mixed
I say
audience.
it.
Paying attention.
Yeah.
Pulse is
I'm saying it in
really-
front of Paul. He's ready to jump
Right.
out of his chair and strangle me, I think,
know.
right now. 'Cause he's the ultra-liberal in the show, I think.
Certainly, he's more liberal than I am on most.
Yeah, I
issues.
would think so. I think
On
most
most
people on the
issues.
planet are more liberal.
That's
than
probably
you.
true. That's probably true. So you're running for state rep. You're running against Linda Campbell. You lost last time you ran against her. You ran for mayor and barely lost.
That was the most interesting race
I'm
ever.
still feeling the effects.
Yeah.
Diana DiZoglio is now feeling the effects.
Yes.
Linda Campbell is now feeling the effects of you losing to Steve Zanni. Had you beat Steve Zanni, this entire race would be completely different. Your race would be different.
Sure.
Diana DiZoglio's race would be different. And this is what I tried to. This is another reason why I'm a little angry with my Tea Party, because I tried to warn them when you were running. And I think you were there. I got up at the
You were vocal, yes. I remember.
Merrimack Valley Tea Party, and I said, we've got two ultra liberals who are running for the farm team for the Democrats. You've got Steve Zanni running in Methuen for mayor. You've got running for town moderator, Mark DeSalvo. If 5 people in this room make phone calls, both of those races are going to be close, and we can defeat both of them. If we don't, you're going to have people running for office out of the mayor's office. You're going to have Mark DeSalvo is going to be
Yeah.
loading up the boards in North Andover with left-wing so-called progressives, so that the Democrats have a farm team for 5 and 10 years from now to run for Senate, state rep, etc. What happened? Phil DiCollegiero was made Steve Zanni's
Chief of
aide, and now
staff,
he's
yeah,
running
he
for
was chief
state
of
rep.
staff, yeah, now
right,
he's in
yeah.
there, yeah.
So and Mark DeSalvo, he's not as overt with the way he does things for progressive reasons, for progressive politics, but it's still there. I mean, he's helping Phil DiCollegiero. He's helping Babs LaTallian.
Yep.
You know, he's doing it as a town moderator.
No, you're right. What do they call that? The butterfly effect?
Yeah.
Something like
I'm
that?
not, by the way, I'm
You
not
actually-
saying
you
I'm not saying
predicted it
he's
all.
abusing his position as town moderator. Please don't think that I said that. I'm not saying he's doing it from the podium. But even when he walks away from the podium, he's still the town moderator.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to curry favor with him because he's the town moderator, right?
How did politicians become rock stars? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's not that glamorous. It's not glamorous at all, to be honest with you. Look at Obama. I mean, he's literally, he campaigns as a rock star.
Yeah.
People just fall all over the place.
Well, it helps when you have the media pushing propaganda.
For him, yes.
Right.
But
And
even
yet-
locally, like you're saying, town moderators. Ooh, he's the town moderator.
Town moderator.
Yeah, I ate lunch next to the town moderator today. It's like, really? Look at me. I
Yeah,
mean,
going to Lawrence.
if
Going to
anyone
Lawrence.
saw me today, I mean, they say, well, he's running for state rep.
Right, yeah. Then you say,
Yeah.
I was having lunch with a Lawrence school committee member yesterday, and they throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
They go, yeah, well, what does that mean? Well, you should be buying my lunch now. What is that?
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're old enough in this room.
And even in
I hate
Lowell,
to say
I was
that,
talking to
but-
some Lowell people this week. They were saying, look, we have former mayors who people hated them when they were mayor.
Yep.
And then they leave and they get this automatic prestige of he's a former mayor of Lowell.
The Bill Clinton
Like
thing.
even people who hated the guy.
Yes,
like the statesman, right,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, all right,
everything he says is
so you're
important.
running for state rep, you're pro-life, which is good, I
Yes.
think. In Massachusetts, probably not so good because most people believe in killing babies in the state. They believe in
Thank
not.
you.
They believe in not calling them babies because it's easier to kill them by calling them something different.
Right.
And of course, there's an abortion industry which pays politicians to maintain their interests.
Follow the money trail again.
I mean,
Let me tell you a quick
the
story.
millions
about
and millions of dollars going through Massachusetts for candidates from the abortion industry is amazing.
I really didn't want to come in and talk about abortion, but now that we're on the subject,
Yeah,
let me
sure.
tell you a real quick story. My mom, God bless her, she's a very holy lady. She goes around to the nursing homes and she brings them the Eucharist and, from church, and she's with a lot of people when they're dying, believe it or not, which is sad, but she's there. She happens to be there a lot.
Right.
And she told me the story, she says the one thing that she hears the most from people, the older people dying, that they regret it in their life was having an abortion.
Yeah.
They don't tell anybody their whole life to that last moment, and they tell a stranger on the way out, thinking that
you
it'll
can't
help.
say that today because abortion has to be glorified. Anything bad, like we know in the world, there's good and bad in everything,
Yes.
right? But in politics, it's either 100% good or 100% bad. And we know that abortion not only has to be 100% good, it has to be glorified.
Right.
So
right,
anytime someone like you tells a story like that, you are to be attacked and
I'm
dismissed.
an evil person, but you know,
You're to be attacked and dismissed.
I can't believe after 60 years we're still discussing this. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The laws are the laws. You know, I have my opinion. You have people have their own opinions. That's fine.
Right.
I can live with that.
Now I got to call you to task for something you said last time you were here.
Uh-oh.
Why is Paul shaking his head? What is the problem, Paul?
I don't know.
He's like my old grandfather, just shaking his head in disapproval. He doesn't want to tell you why he's mad at you. He's just mad at you.
Well, I don't understand the last comments about the law is the law. I can live with it. It's okay.
Yeah.
If we're in Nazi Germany and the law is to kill Jews
we're gonna
at
go there.
6 million a shot, I don't know if I'm standing there saying, well, the law is the law under this regime.
The law says black people have to sit in the back of the bus. The law is the law.
The law is the law. I
gotta
can
follow
live with it. There are some things that you can't live with.
Yeah, Al.
Especially when liberty and life is taken away from you at such a...
See, I was going to throw a shot across the bow at him, but now that you've heard him in that direction, I'm going to hold back.
That's the only thought
No, I can take it.
when it comes to that.
No, and you know what? Then that's a great thought, and it's a deep thought, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. But we're a land of laws, and the Supreme Court has spoke, and actually they just recently came up with a little bit of a reversal there, where the 35-foot buffer zone is
The
gone.
anti-free speech.
So that we continue to hone the laws down, but the United States is a lot different than Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to agree on that.
Wait a minute.
But that's just
the United States is a lot different than Nazi Germany after they began exterminating people. But if you go back and look at the culture that existed in Germany,
Yes.
right before
Very
it
good.
became Nazi Germany, we are exactly where Nazi Germany was in the days before.
And that's
it
how
became
Hitler
Nazi
rose
Germany.
out of that mess.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely
There was
right.
no leadership.
Yep.
People were looking for someone to believe in. People were looking for somebody to change the direction. They were tired of the political rhetoric. There was animosity between the races that was being exploited by the newspapers, by the press.
Very good.
We are,
very good.
we are exactly
Yep,
where
you're
they
right.
were, and I have said on
That's
this show
scary.
a million times that we are on the precipice of another Holocaust and nobody sees it.
And
Paul.
I would just...
Except Paul. Paul sees it.
I would
doesn't
disagree
see
with
it?
you on one thing. You continue to say that we're on the precipice of a Holocaust, and I suggest to you that you should be consistent with your own thinking. If human beings do begin their lives at conception, we have been experiencing the greatest of all Holocausts since 1973 in this country. Over 60 million have been killed. Okay. That's all.
All right.
Just
Very
be
good.
logically consistent, that's all.
I said another Holocaust. We're on the precipice of another Holocaust.
Another Holocaust
Well,
like
so-
Nazi Germany,
so-
you're saying.
Well,
Well,
he's not disputing.
kind of right.
He's trying to dispute what I say, but I'm
Kinda
still
right.
correct.
He's right.
He's trying to dispute what I say, but I'm still correct. Because
I see.
if you're saying that it has been going on, and
Yeah.
I say another Holocaust, we are on the
Okay.
precipice of another Holocaust.
Yeah, but you know...
And you believe we're already in a
Yeah.
Holocaust. What you said doesn't negate what I said.
I know, but you and I both know that what you mean by another Holocaust
It's like a
was
Simpsons episode.
Right, isn't it?
another one in addition to Nazi
I feel like I'm talking to
Germany's.
Democrats. We
Okay.
have to rephrase it. We have to redefine every word.
Nonsense. Go ahead.
Nonsense. We have
Paul's
somebody on
being
the line.
layers deep again.
I really wanted to take you to task on something that you
Okay,
said
yeah,
about
no,
Linda
hold your
Campbell.
thought. I mean,
But I want you to hold that thought because Janet Aldridge is on the line, and I'm hoping that she has a question for Al DiNuccio, who is our guest here in the studio today as a candidate for state representative.
Actually, I just called in because I covered the Copley Square protest last night and have been uploading footage, and I didn't know, excuse me, if this was a good or a bad time.
Well, it turned out to be not a good time, but we've got you on the line. So what happened last night, we found out that the pro-Palestinian, pro-terrorist, anti-Israel group were going to be protesting Israel in Boston at Copley. And we had Janet Aldridge went down with her video camera from Catch of the Day
Video news.
video news. And so tell us what happened. Just give us a couple of seconds on what happened.
Sure. Well, I take public transportation, so I get out at that day and walked over, and I took I was there about 4:30, and just scanned the place, and nothing was happening, and then everybody sort of appeared right at 6:02, and they were on the green side, so of the library was on one side. I thought they'd be in front of the library. And so there was one guy who is, he has been in the Israeli army volunteering as a medic, and he was like the sole opposition to this crowd. I would say, if you look at the video, there had to be 100 to 150 people there. I'm not sure if of my numbers, but it was very intense. There was lots of cops. I really want to salute the cops for handling the situation. Any situation that seemed to almost erupt, they were right on it. They took control of it, and they just allowed both sides to have their time. So it was pretty intense, and there were 2 rows of people, and they extended halfway down the block. So if they had stretched that was my comment, if they had stretched that row out, it probably would have been an entire block in Copley Square of families, and they had little children with them. They had a young boy who had been injured. His whole face was injured, and it was sad, and he was protesting along with them. So it was, that's pretty much my comment. The rest is in the video. And I do documentary videos. I don't do a lot of interviewing. Excuse me. So it is what it is. I want people to be able to see what happened.
All right, great. And I will take a look at the video, and we'll write a story. We'll try and get a story up. I'll try and get a hold of some people that I know that were involved at some level. And I appreciate all the time and the hard work that you put into all of these video documentaries, that Catch of the Day video news thing.
Great. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, Janet.
Well, that's back to what you were saying earlier. Every action has a reaction, doesn't it?
Right.
Everything Obama does has a reaction somewhere down.
Right, sure. So we're talking to Al Danuccio, OVE. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you running a Minga Valley? No, you don't have
No,
Minga
no,
Valley.
that's not part
That's
of
why
it,
you can't win.
Yeah.
Now, if they ever took Minga Valley and put it in your
I need
district,
the Italians.
you'd never lose. You see a guy like you see a name like Danuccio on the ballot. That's why DeZoglia is going to beat Phil DeCologero. Her name's DeZoglia.
Ah, yeah, I know. She has a very popular name.
Although I have to tell you, just to step into that race for a second, right now, Phil DeCologero is the front runner. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Phil DeCologero is the front runner in that race, and Diana DeZoglia has got to catch up, and she's got to pour it on, and she's got to make sure all of her people come out.
You know, I went against the old guard in the mayor's race. You know, the Sharon Pollard Democrats.
Yes.
And Phil's got the old guard on his side.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's big.
They
come out in droves.
You're talking about the war on women? All these Democrats come out and talk about the war on women.
Yeah.
War on women. Well, here we have a woman state representative. And what did the state party do? What did the insiders do? What did the North Andover Town Committee do? What did the Methuen Town Committee do? Democrat Town Committee? They recruited 2 guys to run against her. So you tell me who the real war on women is. Folks.
Well, my candidate is a woman. It's not Diana. My candidate is Rosemary.
Richard?
Yeah.
Is who? Rosemary Spinelli?
Yes.
Yeah, we got to get her on the program.
Yeah, she's the Republican candidate in that race. She's not getting any press right now because I believe she's the only Republican.
Right.
Just like.
Well, she's not getting any press right now because she's not doing anything to get press.
Well, there's no primary in her side.
If she came on the show, if she sent us press releases, if she wrote a column for the Valley Patriot,
true.
We, unlike the rest of the press, we will give any candidate.
She's actually a current select woman in North Andover, I believe.
She is a select woman in North Andover, and has been for years.
Yep. Yeah, she's been around. You're right.
Very well liked.
She's a nice lady. I met her several times. Very nice lady.
Yeah.
A lady is the actual word to describe it.
I think
She's
you're
a
being
lady.
sexist.
I'm saying my candidate is a woman.
I don't know. Can the guy win now using sexist
Come on, give me a
language?
shot. What are you going
All
to
right,
beat
so
me
last
up
time
on?
you were on the show, Al Danuccio, you made a claim that Linda Campbell co-sponsored the transgender bathroom bill. Linda Campbell has called and sent us documentation to show that she did not co-sponsor the transgender bathroom bill. Now, Al Danuccio is handing me something saying that is true.
This is my documentation.
Well, wait a minute. First of all, take this back. What, are you on drugs?
Why?
You're going to hand me something that's supposed to verify anything that says Eagle Tribune at the top of it?
I'm sorry. It's the best I could do was a while ago.
Eagle Tribune? These are the people that said Bob Manson had
I'm on your side here.
suits pulling asbestos out of his building.
They wouldn't endorse me for dog catcher.
I know.
Hey,
They hate you.
They do. They absolutely do. It's funny. I've been in the bathroom.
Now, okay, so according to this April 10, 2009, Eagle Tribune, but it was written by Sean Regan, who's usually pretty good, but still he's with the Eagle Tribune. It says the bill is expected to be considered this legislative session. but a hearing on it has not yet been scheduled, said State Rep Linda Campbell. So that doesn't mean she sponsored it. Let's see. Linda Dean Campbell is one of more than 100 citizens and lawmakers to sign on to the bill, including Rep. Barbara Lechtalian, State Senator Sue Tucker, Mike Costello, D. Newburyport, also a sponsor. Dean Campbell said she believes it is important to provide transgender individuals with added protections from hate crimes. She said she once witnessed a gang of teenagers beat a transgender person at a shopping mall in Virginia. Quote, it's so difficult what these young people are going through. that we have to give them any help that we can, she said. This bill is about compassion. Are you
All right, so am I in left field here? I'm not far away.
But again, look, on the surface, it looks like you're right.
Thank you.
Except at the headline, it says Eagle Tribune, and we know and listen, I'm not just saying this because they're my rivals. How many shows have we come in, and you've listened to my show, how many shows have we come in, read Eagle Tribune stories on the air that were totally false?
Debunking again.
Right.
You're debunking.
Right.
You're a debunker.
That's what the Valley Patriot
Yes.
is.
What is a debunker?
So here's what we have to do. Paul,
What?
give me some help on this. Give me
All
some
right.
guidance. Here's what we have to do.
What?
I think we
What
got to
do we
get Linda Campbell and Al DiNuccio
Yes.
in the studio at the same time
No
in
question.
the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't want to drag this out,
Don't drag it.
right? We want a heated debate between Linda Dean Campbell, who's been buying ads in the Valley Patriot for a while,
Oh no, I lost already.
and Al DiNuccio, who's not buying any ads at all.
Yes.
And we want to give them both a chance to get free airtime on my show and to dispute whether the Eagle Tribune lied or the Eagle Tribune didn't lie. Now, here's what's going to be interesting.
Wait,
Paul.
the debate's about the Eagle Tribune, or is it about the bill?
Well, the Eagle Tribune is saying that Linda Campbell sponsored the bill, right? So what we want to do is we want to get Linda Campbell on the record, either calling the Eagle Tribune lies, right? See where I'm going with this?
Yes.
She's either going to have to say the Eagle Tribune is lying because Al DiNuccio's lying,
Maybe don't.
or she's going to have to say she sponsored the bill. But either way,
So in other words, you're not getting her on the show.
no,
Yeah,
she'll come
probably
on.
not.
She'll come
Yeah,
on the
she
show.
will.
She will?
Yeah.
She has to.
Linda Campbell, if you're out there listening right now, this is what you need to do. Because even though it sounds like we're just hanging around in our living room chatting today, because it doesn't really seem like a real show, we really are on the air. So why don't you call in and tell us, because she called me after you did that. She asked me to put something in the paper. I did. She emailed me a list of the people who sponsored the bill that was voted on. Now, this bill may not have been voted on. Maybe this bill died and another similar bill came up that she didn't sponsor.
Yeah.
But your initial claim was that Linda Dean Campbell, Methuen State Rep, sponsored the transgender bathroom bill.
Correct.
And she's saying, no, she didn't. And I was already siding with her. I'd already put something in my notebook that you were full of crap. So now what we have to do is get you guys in together. Paul, how else do you resolve this?
I don't know, because that seems to indicate that she was the sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Is Richard Tisay's name on that?
No, I didn't see it.
You know why? Because Richard Tisay did not sponsor the bathroom bill, contrary to what everyone in the Tea Party has been saying for the last 2 years.
Then what did he have to do with the bathroom
He
bill?
had nothing to do with the bathroom bill.
Wait. When he was here a couple years ago, he didn't deny his involvement.
He said he thought it was a good bill.
Okay.
I think he said he voted for the bill.
All right, he backed it.
But he
All right.
also said he was not a co-sponsor of the bill.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we've got to work this out now. We don't know. We don't know. Look, I want to believe Linda Dean Campbell.
Well, were
But
those...
she spends more money with us.
were
But,
those-
but Al DiNuccio seems like he's coming up the rear. Right? He's getting these uppercuts in, and it looks like they're taking.
I have many. she has a record.
got bloody nose.
Miss Campbell has a record. I mean, she has a record. If you go according to, and this is really cool, Mass Fiscal Scorecard. They're a non-partisan scorecard.
Well,
they say they're non-partisan. I'm just, you can't call me on what's written.
I know.
And just like with the bathroom bill.
Right.
But anyways, they're a non-partisan
right into mine.
scorecard. All right, so they rate Rep Lyons. They give him 100% voting record. We like Mr. Lyons, right?
Love Jim Lyons.
Yeah, he votes.
But then look
well.
look what they did to my Diana though.
Well, they only give Linda a 14.
Right. Well, Linda's got. I mean,
The average
Diana's
is
got
a
better shot.
27.
Right.
The average there is a 27. That whole blue group over there.
Yeah.
And she's even below that. So
How are you
she
gonna
has a
be-
lot more than the bathroom bill to defend.
Well, talk to us. What else does she have to defend, Al DiNuccio?
Well, pretty much everything that has to do with EBT. Anything to do with any kind of EBT card IDs, she's voted against.
Wait, so you're saying that Linda Campbell voted against
Picture IDs on
Picture
EBT,
ID on
yeah.
EBT cards?
Yes.
Wait a minute, let's let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
Could that
Okay,
could
that's
that
good. That's enough time.
Wait, could that possibly be true?
I believe it is, according to Mass Fiscal. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she voted to raise the taxes,
had a
the
real-
gas tax. She voted for that.
Listen, if she had a real
$500
opponent this year, she'd
million.
be in trouble.
She voted for the gas tax.
What?
That one there is actually a ballot question. That's question number one, the
Right.
gas tax, repeal the gas tax. She voted for that alone. I could spend hours and hours on your show on just that one issue, that gas tax. All right, for example, all the states around Massachusetts, everyone, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, all of them, they do roads and bridges just like we do. They do maintenance, they build them. In Massachusetts, we spend 4 times the amount to do a mile of road.
Because we pay to the union.
4 times. They have unions, they have things, but we spend 4 times the amount. Why? That's what we could ask Miss Linda. She's the state rep.
Right.
She's voting to raise more money there. That's what she has. Way more issues, is what I'm saying, than the bathroom bill. Bigger, much bigger fish to fry.
If she had a real opponent, she'd be in trouble.
Why am not? You're killing me. Do I really have to buy an ad?
Yeah.
Do I have to write you a check
Yes.
now? Can I write you a thank you ad check now in
Absolutely.
advance so that you'll know I'm a serious candidate and that I
No,
really
when
know
I-
I'm going to
when-
win?
But when I say that, when I say like having a real I mean, I don't see, other than you coming into the studio today, the last time we heard from you, and I don't mean on this show, I mean out in the community, at meetings, at neighborhood issues, at national night outs, we don't see you. Like you're nowhere.
Well, I
When was
run,
the last time you and I actually ran into each other at an event?
well, all the time. I run every other week according to everybody. You know, so I run for everything in the Merrimack
Right.
Valley,
When
so I
you're
must
not on
be
the
at
ballot-
these events.
When you're not on the ballot, when do we run into each other?
Well, I have a life too, Tom. You know, I do have a family and a life, and I have other, priorities.
The rest of us have lives too, but we're still out in the community, getting
I'm running a
involved, going to
business.
meetings.
No, I know.
know what
I
I'm saying?
was down at T-ball.
I'm trying to help you. You
I was
gotta
down
be
at
out.
T-ball all spring with my grandson.
Okay.
You know, I have a grandson that's 6 years old, and he lives with us. You know, because
awesome.
I practice what I preach as far as the abortion thing. He lives with us. We had a grandchild, and he's part of our family.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it is awesome, and so I get to
So you running for office?
I get to go through it all again.
So you running for office so you can spend less time with your family?
Yeah, sometimes I think that. No, I love my family. I was with my family last night. The whole family.
Whenever somebody says
Squeezing them for
they're
money.
dropping out of politics, they always say because they want to spend more time with
Yes,
their
yes,
family.
yes.
So when they're
That's a
running,
good-
does that mean
that's a good point.
when they're running, does that mean they want to spend less time with their family? I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
You know,
So tongue in
the
cheek.
families, yeah,
Colonel
everybody,
Stan will be calling me.
the families suffer the most,
That
trust
wasn't
me.
funny.
Trust me, they're the ones that get pinched for the money the most, and they give it. And
Yeah.
we had a little family event last night, which becomes a fundraiser.
How are you going to beat Linda Campbell? She's got organization. I don't think you really kind of have the organization she has. You might have organization, but not
You
the
know,
organization she
the
has.
Republicans have organization this year without even needing to have it. You know, the radio shows, the talk shows. That
Right.
they
I don't think
they are.
you're not doing yourself any favors here today, though. I don't think.
No, maybe not.
No?
Maybe not.
You still
I
have
don't know.
20 minutes to turn it around, though.
I don't. Actually, I think I'm doing really well.
Okay.
You're scaring me.
I'm trying to hurt you.
I know you really are.
Yeah.
The bottom one, that backfired a little bit. You gotta give me some credit on
I
that.
I just want my listeners to know the truth on the bathroom bill, because
Yep.
even though in and of itself the bathroom bill is not a huge issue,
But it is, because now we have
we have an
prisoners
issue.
getting
We
paid
have an issue
for.
of dishonesty now. We have a candidate
Ooh.
saying one thing, and we have another candidate saying another thing.
Yeah, with
Both of whom
controversy.
claiming that they have proof of what they're saying, and so now it's an issue of dishonesty.
Right. Well, I think I'm out of the loop at this point, because I'm just pointing out what was in a newspaper.
How are you going to help?
I won't say
Methuen?
the name of the newspaper.
How are you going to help Methuen become better than Linda Campbell's helping Methuen become better?
Oh, I could go down the list. Let's start with secure communities. Nobody enforces it here. Hugely successful in the states that it's worked on. 88% increase in criminal deportations by just supporting secure communities.
Yeah.
280,000 criminal deportations in the last few years. We don't do it. Why? Because we have a blue House and Senate. They won't do it. They follow Governor Deval Patrick's orders to the T. And secure communities is important, especially up here in the Merrimack Valley. Everybody looks,
Especially 5 feet from Lawrence.
yeah, just look around.
I know you're not trying to
Everybody
say that,
closes
but I'll
one
say it
eye
for
and
you.
looks out the side window and goes, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We know what's going on. We're not stupid anymore.
Right.
I mean, that one's used.
So you
right
want to
there.
deport illegal
I want
aliens? I'm with
I
you
want
on that.
voter IDs.
Yeah.
I want voter IDs.
Does Linda Campbell support voter ID?
I don't know. I'm
See, I
not
think
sure.
if it's
I'm afraid to say anything she's
Right.
supposed to because I might have to go to court.
Right.
The court of Tommy Duggan.
Go to Tommy Duggan. It's what it is.
I'm more afraid of that
Right,
than the
well-
IRS.
Well, listen, I just want to make sure that my listeners, if they were, brave enough to get through the worst hour of radio ever, which was the first hour of this show, but if they're still with us, I want my listeners and my readers, when I write the story later on, to have the right information. See, the Tribune doesn't care about that. WCCM doesn't care about that.
I know.
The other newspapers and radio stations don't care about that. They want the quick hit that sounds good, and who cares if
Right.
it's true later on. I always want to go back and make sure. If I screwed up, I do the mea culpa so that my readers and my listeners have the right information. And if a guest screws up, I want to make sure the same thing. I want to make sure they've got the right information.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm going to reverse.
I'm not ready for
gonna
office, but
yeah,
I'll
let's
answer your
reverse.
questions.
Let me be the DJ,
Sure.
the host for a second. Do you fear your government right now? Does Tommy Duggan fear your government?
I fear this administration, but not my government.
Okay.
I fear this administration.
Yeah,
I think what everyone said about George Bush, one New World Order, spying on everyone, Patriot Act, none of it turned out to be true. He didn't turn out to suspend the Constitution to have a third term. He didn't declare martial law in America as a part of the Patriot Act. None of the things that the left said about him turned out to be true. But it did turn out to be true with this guy who they supported. And so that's why you're not hearing any of that.
Okay, so
So
I'm
I'm
going to play
worried.
Paul
I
now.
think if you think Nixon had a corrupt administration, multiply that by 100, because Nixon at least had the press to expose his baloney and to put a stop
He
to
had
it.
checks and balances, yeah.
Today, the press is going
We don't
along
have
with it,
checks.
even though he's targeting the press.
So,
So I'm not afraid of my government. I'm afraid of this guy.
Let me break down your
and
answer.
the Marxist who he's got in his
Right, so
administration.
let me break down your answer. I'm going to be Paul. I'm going to go multi-layers deep right now.
Yes, okay.
So your answer is that you don't fear your government because you know that this administration is going to disappear in 2 more years.
Yes.
Because of term limits. Another thing I'm for, and Linda is not.
Yeah.
I'm a 100% fan of term limits. I think across the board, from the lowest levels all the way up to the president, we should have term limits. Fixes everything overnight. All our problems go away. See what you're saying? With the president, you don't fear your government, but you fear the administration, and you're okay with the government because you know it's going to come back.
Right.
And that's.
And I know-
Did I play
I
Paul
know
well?
that-
Yeah,
Did I
that's
do you
good.
well?
I like that. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
very good.
That's my
You have to do it in
impersonation
his
of Paul.
voice, though. You have to do it in
Yeah,
his
get it,
voice. You
you
get that
gotta do my
nasally
voice.
thing
Do my voice.
I don't know if I can do your voice. I'm sorry. I'm not an
Not
impersonator.
bad.
That wasn't.
Not bad.
That wasn't.
We need our engineer. He can do it.
We'll get you in Salisbury. We'll take care of you. We'll do the. Paul and I are going to do comedy at some point.
You know, I just hit you with three. I just hit you with 3 big ones: secure communities, voter ID, term limits. The Democrats are not for none of this stuff in
Right.
Massachusetts. Helps Methuen,
But
helps everybody.
How are you going to win not promising to buy people with government services?
Oh, that's a great question.
What I haven't heard from you is, I'm going to give this group this money.
I can't win.
And I'm going to give the Historical
You're right.
Commission a grant for this.
You're right, I
I'm going to
can't
give the
win.
Library Commission a grant for this, and buy
This
off
is
every
the
little
game.
group.
This is why I need the average Joe voter to stop watching Dancing with the Stars on election night, get off the couch, and come out and vote. Because my 28-vote loss in the mayor's race was not. My votes didn't come from the policemen, the firemen, the teachers. They obviously didn't vote for me.
Right.
It didn't come from the Arlington neighborhood district who filled the bus with 80 people at the last moment and came down and voted. That's where I actually lost the 28 votes.
Right, yeah.
But it didn't come from the Eagle Tribune double endorsing the mayor. It came from the average person. I need them to be motivated to get out there and win this race. But I can't win the race. You know why? Because Massachusetts, in the last 4 years, added, at a state level, 10,000 jobs. We have 10,000 more people working for the state of Massachusetts today than we did 4 years ago.
10,000 more Democrat voters.
Yes, that's the game. They figured it out.
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question, Tommy and Paul. Do you see 10,000 more people worth of services going on in the
No,
state? Or do you
no,
see less?
No.
Do the roads look any better? That we spend 4 times the amount as New Hampshire, our neighbor, who has beautiful, pristine roads. I just took my grandson up the Clark Street and posted, and it was gorgeous. And I go down 93 into the gateway of Boston, and it's like Beirut.
Yeah.
I'll go through the tunnel. If your teeth, your fillings come out of your mouth. It's embarrassing. And we're spending 4 times the amount per mile. And that's
So
a fair.
how,
That's a
so
fair.
how do you win if you're not willing to?
I can't win if they keep buying votes.
Right.
I need average Joe
Which goes
voter. This
back-
is what I'm telling you. I need.
Which goes back to my original
American
point.
Idol is
You
not
don't-
that important.
But this goes back to my original point that you don't believe you can win.
No, he believes he can win if he can get the average
Yes.
people
I'm
out
giving
there.
you the answer.
I
Yes,
see.
the average people have got to get off their duck and go vote.
And I think this is the year, and we say this every 2-year cycles. This is the year, but I really
This
do
is the most
believe this
important
the year.
election ever.
No, you hear it all the time.
Right.
But those 9 speakers up at the Haverhill Library the other night, everyone had that same message that the people they're meeting on the street, the average Joe person, like the little old lady and husband I met that night, they're mad. They fear their government. They don't trust their government, which is my second question to you. Does Tommy Duggan trust their government?
No, I don't trust my government.
No, which is,
No.
let's just talk the IRS real quick.
Right.
I didn't want to
listen,
talk about the IRS because I'll probably get audited again.
No, don't talk about the IRS. I have something better you should
All right,
talk
go ahead.
about. And I love Chief Alan Denaro in Haverhill, so please don't take this as an attack. In Haverhill, they've put up all of these cameras. Now, they've gone up all over the valley, but I just want to focus on Haverhill for a minute because there's a back end to this in Haverhill. They've got all these cameras that are watching and listening to what's going on in neighborhoods in Haverhill. All right? They're on streetlights, they're on stoplights, they're all over. Try and turn on a police scanner and listen to what the police are doing. It's the only scanner channel, it's the only community in Massachusetts, maybe
Scrambled.
even in New England, that is scrambled. Now, if you turn on your scanner in Lowell, there's a public channel that we can all listen to the calls to go out for a domestic, 2 people fighting on the street, there's a fire on whatever. And then if there's a big drug raid, they'll swap to a scrambled channel because they don't want the drug dealers listening that they're coming. In Haverhill, there is no public channel. So they can watch you. They can listen to you. They can track you. But even though they work for you, you can't listen to them. You're going to be the state rep if you win.
Yes, Haverhill's part of my district.
Will you do anything about that?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cameras. I absolutely am not a fan of invasion of privacy like that, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of, I forget what city it was in the other day where the police officers were walking the crosswalk as regular citizens and pulling people over because they weren't stopping for people on the crosswalk
Yeah.
and stuff. That's baiting, in my opinion, the whole camera thing. I got a ticket from a camera in Washington, D.C.
Did you?
Yes.
Crossing the street?
No, it's driving.
Driving.
They have them up in the thing. They just it's flashing nonstop. It's just, I believe in Methuen. They tried to do it, and they came up with some crazy number that we're going to make $3 million on it. No, it's true. It just constantly just writes tickets.
Right.
It's not a good way to live. No, part of my campaign is called quality of life. The quality of life issues, and the little things like buying a new car and having to go out and buy a inspection sticker for it.
Right.
Really? I just spent $30,000 for a car. I gave you $1,500 in taxes, and then I'm going to pay $600 excise tax. And you want $35 more for a car that was just inspected by Ford, 500 points, and it's covered bumper to bumper. If my windshield wiper's broken, I'm going to go down and get it fixed.
But it has to be inspected.
But I need some guy in a gas station to say, yeah, your windshield wiper works. Come on.
That actually,
That's a quality of life issue.
right. That's actually a great point. That when someone buys a brand new car, they then have to go have it inspected. It's a brand new car. What's to inspect? It's never been used.
It's brand new, and if it's broken, it's under warranty 100%. Of course, I'm going to run down and get it fixed because I just paid $30,000 for it, and I
Right.
want it to be perfect.
Right.
This should be a 3-year. I would try to pass a bill that's a 3-year new car bill. You buy a new car, you get a green sticker on. It's good for 3 years. You don't have to go down and give them $35 a year for no reason.
You know that'll never pass.
Because it's revenue.
Right. Because they want to steal as much of your
Yep.
money
They have
as
too much of
humanly
it.
possible.
They're spending 4 times per mile on the highway. They're hiring 10,000 employees. They have too much of our money when they're doing that kind of stuff. These are what? The hottest times in the history of the pit since the pyramids? Are you kidding me? They hired 10,000 people.
Right.
They're in a recession.
So how do you win?
By coming on shows like this and
yelling.
hoping and praying that the average person can get motivated by just one thing I say and shut the TV off on election night and go out and vote.
Right. Now,
I'm sorry, I'm yelling.
is
I'm
it
getting
true?
passionate about
Is
this,
it-
and it's
no,
all
I
the
like
monsters that I
like the
drink.
passion because it makes great radio, and people at home think that you're crazy. They want to listen more. Now, do I?
Thank you for turning that around.
I'm just trying to help.
No help.
Now,
I think he has a great point, though. I mean, why is this all happening? Why is all of our privacy dissipating? Why is all this money being taken from us? It's because politicians have interests. However, if there were term limits for everybody across the
that's simple.
board, they would see themselves more as citizens rather than politicians. And
I
would
would-
they be?
It
for
is
all
really
these
that
things?
I would only
It
have to
seems
disagree
pretty
with
simple.
both of you.
Only because you're
Why?
Tommy Duggan.
Why?
No, because once you limit the terms, then the people who have the real control are the unelected bureaucrats. And what people will do is they will run for office to serve those 2 terms to dole out favors so they can get the jobs as the unelected bureaucrats later on, and then you never get rid of them. I mean, just imagine you could never get rid of a Willie Lantigua, because instead of being a state rep and you could vote him out, he becomes one of these unelected bureaucrats that works at the state house.
I'd rather have that.
You'd rather have that. But you can't fire
Maybe
anybody.
they should have limits too.
You know, it's
Let's have job
what we
limits.
have today is broken in defending anything we have today,
Right.
which is what you're doing. You're defending even the smallest part of what we have today,
Yeah.
which is Nazi Germany. In your point, to get back to your point, you're defending Nazi Germany is what we got today.
I'm a Nazi Germany kind of guy, actually.
No, I didn't mean this. That was a bad thing to say.
That's okay.
I apologize.
I was letting
but I was
it go.
trying to make a point.
I was letting it go because I love you.
Yeah, I know you do. At heart you do, and you're gonna love me more when I write that thank you check. But no, seriously, the whole Bones right. I think they figured it out. They figured out how to keep in office. They figured out how to keep making money. They figured out how to keep getting it out of us. One of my battle cries is reform before revenue. Things are broken at a level. DCF, okay. Under my opponent's watch, Department of Child and Families. What a horror show. Seriously, this is so bad. I'm afraid to talk about it. We have children dying into the state care at a level that's the highest in the country. In Massachusetts, the most liberal state in the country, where we're supposed to take care of people, which we supposedly do, we're taking children out of situations and putting them in death situations to the point where they're dying at the highest rate per year in Massachusetts than any place else in the country.
What will you do
than in New Mexico.
The biggest thing that someone like you or a Linda D. Campbell can do, a Diana DiZoglio,
defund the whole organization.
Well,
Start it over.
but it's transparency. It's putting measures in place
Yes.
to take the roadblocks away from the press, so that when we ask for information, we don't get, oh well, they're underage, so you don't have the right to that information. I mean, right now they're taking illegal aliens that they've shipped to this state we made it easier for them. We got them in Texas by the Mexican border. They send them here, and they're secretly funneling them through the DCF foster care system, and they have issued an edict that it is a federal criminal crime if anyone talks to the press about it. I know, because they're talking to me, and they are begging me every 5 words on the phone, please, you can't ever use my name. You're not going to use my name, right?
You can't even ask a question, I believe. I don't even think the press is allowed to ask a
listen,
question.
The day that my government tells me as a member of the press that I'm not allowed to ask the question, I'm asking the question, and if they want to put me in jail, they can put me in jail. Because that's when we become the Soviet Union.
Let's talk transparency, because my opponent voted against every transparency bill that's out there. She voted against the 24-hour review time for bills. She voted against publishing committee minutes. This is all transparency, government transparency. They come out every 2 years. They come out of their cave every 2 years, and they tell you what you want to hear. And then they do the total opposite, because they know they can. And this is why I run. People, the first question when you run for office that you're going to get from everybody is, why you running? It's a given. You're going to get it a million times.
Right.
Even the day before election, I'm going to get, why
you
you
should have
running?
really funny answer to make them not ever want to ask that question
I
again.
know. You know those questions I really don't
It's
like.
like to piss you off.
Here's the one I'm waiting to get it, because you get these questions all the time. I'm just waiting to get it so I could go crazy, because I'm going to do it. If Abraham Lincoln was alive, what would you ask him? Really? Are you kidding me? There's so many things going on in the world. Who cares? He's dead.
Right.
But this is what goes on, and I forget my whole point now because of that. Because I made myself laugh with it. But
That's all right.
no, transparency.
It was entertaining for me.
It kind of was, but I really do get those questions. What's your favorite color?
Oh, isn't that
Come on,
awful?
really? They got to be Democrats asking me this just to throw me off.
But see, if you were a Democrat, they'd ask you, why are you so awesome?
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you love puppies? Because that's the Boston Globe, when they ask a Democrat a question, it's always something like that.
Nah, they come out every 2 years. They tell you they're for job creation. They're going to tell you, we're going to hold the line on taxes.
All right, real quick question, we got 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
The anti-free speech, Martha Coakley buffer zone bill,
Yes.
that was not anything to do with abortion. It had to do with stopping people's free speech on public sidewalks. Where did you stand on that?
Well, I talked about it earlier.
Is it dangerous for women?
No, of course.
Is it part of the war on women?
Of course not. Nobody's running the
Are
gauntlet.
women using coat hangers to have abortions in back
Nobody's
alleys
running
now?
the gauntlet. They show you the one lady that's holding a sign up that happened 3 years ago on the news, and everybody thinks it's happening at every abortion clinic in the world. That's not true.
Right.
This is the world of Facebook and the internet, and this stuff has gone on for our whole lives. What happened in Oregon 30 years ago before the internet still happens today, except that everybody sees it instantly.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
It's true. It's just the world of instant
In the old
information.
days, we used to see a story on the news, and then you'd have time to digest it and talk about it with your family. Now we see it on the internet instantly, and we react instantly, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing.
It's a bad thing. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Nobody digests it. That's a great word. I'm going to steal that on you.
How can people get in touch with Al DiNuccio if they want to give you money, if they want to work on your campaign?
Oh, I like the first part. Yeah, the money part.
Yeah, give him money so I buy ads about Patriots so I can stop breaking his
Just give me the money so I can funnel it to Tommy. www.
Yeah, even Tom Weaver bought it. He's
Mr.
not giving
Weaver,
money for
it's an
anything.
honor and a pleasure to meet a true American.
Thank you, thank you. I mean,
And a serviceman.
without that ad, I would have never got so many votes.
Right.
www.dinuccio.com, my website, all the information's right there. www.dinuccio.com. Thank you,
And you'll
Paul.
do a
Thank you,
debate.
Paul.
If
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
schedule a
come
debate in
on.
2
I
weeks, you'll do a
live
debate.
for this stuff.
Paul Morano, thank you for coming in. Turn your phone
I
off on my
enjoyed
show.
it.
What's wrong with you?
I had a ringside seat for this one.
This was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's gonna look even funnier when you watch the video when he's flailing his arms with the tattoos on him. I want to be a state rep.
That was good stuff.
He's a death tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Tom Weaver's coming up next, the classical liberal, in this plush palatial studio here at WCAP.
I've got Mark Fisher on today.
Mark Fisher's coming on your show. He wouldn't
Wow,
come on
that's
my
big.
show.
Yeah, he's out. He's
I'd like to
out
meet
there.
him.
Is that him out there?
Yep.
I'm going to meet him.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I have a love-hate relationship with Mark Fisher. If he buys ads, he'll be back to love again, but at this point, it's really kind of not.
Even I bought an ad.
He lost Clay Evans, so once he lost Clay, it's kind of like, now I'm back to Charlie Baker, I think. He's going to have to win me over. Go home already.
980
That had to be the worst show I've done in about 5 years.
Why did you buy it at your show?